శివరాత్రి అనగానే రకరకాల గుళ్ళల్లో మనం వెళ్ళి పూజ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటాము, యజ్ఞాలు హోమాలు చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటాము, రుద్రాభిషేకాలు చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటాం. అయితే ఇక్కడ కోయంబత్తూరులో ఉన్న ఇషా ఫౌండేషన్లో మాత్రం అంగరంగ వైభవంగా అందరూ ఆనందించేలాగా చక్కటి కార్యక్రమాలు జరుగుతాయి. దేశవ్యాప్తంగా విశ్వవ్యాప్తంగా అందరూ దీన్ని తిలకిస్తూ ఉంటారు. మరి ఇవాళ ఈ శివరాత్రి పర్వదినాన మేము ఇక్కడ ఈషా ఫౌండేషన్ సద్గురు శ్రీ జగ్గి వాసుదేవ్ గారి దగ్గర ఉన్నాం. నమస్కారం సద్గురు గారు. చాలా చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది మహాశివరాత్రి పర్వదినాన ఇలా మీతో ఉండడం. నాకు ఒక డౌట్ సద్గురు, మామూలుగా దీపావళి, సంక్రాంతి, ఇంకేమైనా పండుగలు అయితే చక్కగా పొద్దున్నే లేచి స్నానం చేసుకుని అప్పచ్చులు చేస్తారు, మంచి మంచి కొత్త కొత్త బట్టలు వేసుకుంటారు, ఎక్స్ట్రా భోజనం చేస్తారు, అన్నీ చేస్తారు, ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తారు. కానీ శివరాత్రి పండగ అయినప్పటికీ ఉపవాసం ఉంటాం, ఆ రోజంతా దైవభక్తిలో ఉంటాం, రాత్రంతా జాగరణ ఉంటాం. ఎందుకంటారు ఇలాగా?
వన్ థింగ్ ఈస్, నేను ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడతాను.
తప్పకుండా.
See, for any transcendence to happen to a human being, if a human being has to cross any boundaries, there are two things, two fundamental things. Everything comes after that. Two things which are absolutely compulsive and which determines your survival process. Essentially, it restricts you to your survival process. This is food and sleep. If you do not know how to cross these two things, you will just remain a body, nothing else. If you just remain a body, because there is a certain intelligence in you, there's certain emotion in you, certain expansion of looking at life, you're a human being. If you're just a body, you're just another creature. As an earthworm, you would be more useful, isn't it?
Kachithanga.
Only because body is a foundation, it houses us, but it's not everything for us. Food and sleep are the ways of the body. So when you say anything spiritual, first thing is you're seeing how that you can be little beyond the body. You cannot leave the body, but you don't want to be ruled by the body. Now, భోజనాలు చేసే కావాలి ఇప్పుడు, పడుకుంటేనే అవుతుంది, లేకపోతే కాదు. You have to transcend that, you have to somehow go beyond that. Today I will go without food. My body says you will die. My stomach says, please eat, otherwise I will die, it'll threaten. And when time comes, it says, I want to sleep. You do whatever you want, it wants to go down to the ground. Going down to the ground in many ways is death. If you're sleeping 8 hours a day, as doctors are suggesting these days, if you sleep 8 hours a day in 24 hours, you're sleeping 1/3 of your life off. First 10-12 years went in growing and, childhood. Another 1/3 went in sleeping. Another 10-15% goes in brushing your teeth, having bath, eating this. When are you going to live? So human life is very precious. There is so much one can do. Do not just in terms of work and activity. There's so much you can do within yourself, because this is an endless possibility. Because you are made just like the universe. It's not different, same design, smaller, smaller model you are, but you are made just like the creation. If you are willing to explore this, you know the entire creation. This is the process. So MahaShivRatri is not a religious festival as people think. It is related to planetary positions. Let's say it has an astronomical base. So it is relevant to every human being, because on that day, on this planet, there is certain forces functioning. We want to make use of that. To make use of that 24 hours you must stay awake. And to stay awake, one important thing is your stomach is empty. If it's full, it'll go down. So, and also your intelligence works at its best. The purificatory system in the body works at its best when stomach is empty. So keeping the stomach empty and staying alert, staying awake, is not just about staying awake, it is a way of awakening yourself. So when you say Shiva, we must first understand, see, this is a country where there is no idea of God. God is an imported idea for us. The people who lived in our land people who walked this geography at one time, they lived in such a magnificent way, we looked at them worshipfully, because people are living like that. So whether it is Shiva, Rama, Krishna, they all walked this land. Well, for example, Rama, if you take, because he's constantly in controversy from then to now. See, his life is not a symbol of success. Serial disasters. He's a 19-year-old boy, he gets coronated as a king. Within a couple of years, then he has to go to the forest with his young wife. She's not an Adivasi woman, she doesn't know how to be in the forest, she's a princess, takes her there, not easy to live there. Then she gets kidnapped, then he goes there, fights a war, burns down a whole beautiful city. Not things that he want to do, but forced to do, all right? And then he brings her back, then some local politics, then he again sends her to forest when she's pregnant. For a king, having a son is very important. For everybody it's important, but for a king it's more important because the kingdom and the empire has to flourish, means he wants sons. And he has twins, 2 boys, he doesn't know. And he goes and fights with them not knowing they're his children. He could have killed them. Fortunately, the boys were competent and didn't get killed. But if you knowingly or unknowingly kill your own children, isn't it the most horrible thing you can ever do?
Satyam.
There can't be anything worse, that you kill your own children. But he almost did it. And they never saw Sita's face again, she died in the jungle. We can eulogize whichever way we want, but it's a serial disaster. But in all that, he remained without anger, without hatred, without getting this thing. What he needs to do, he will do. If he has to kill, he will kill. If he has to wage a war, he will wage a war. But there is no these things happening. Because he is free from all these compulsions, we worship him, because in this culture we only worship liberation and freedom, because our only value is mukti.
True.
Not God, not heaven, our value is mukti. So in the direction of that liberation, MahaShivRatri is an important step. Nature is providing us a certain support. On that night, there is a natural upsurge of energy, particularly in the northern hemisphere of the planet. So when the upsurge is there, if you lie down, you could… one thing is you will not benefit, you could also cause some damage to yourself. Damage means people think your heart should fail, your liver should fail, not that kind of damage. Damage is loss of possibility is a damage, isn't it?
True.
Nothing bad happened to you, but nothing happened to you. Is that a horrible life?
Yes.
Yes.
Kachchitanga.
You miss the opportunity,
Avunu.
that itself is a damage, isn't it?
Avunandi.
So in that sense, there is a damage to your life. What could have been possible, you did not make it possible because you never explored it. When the energy is rushing up, you must sit up. This is why it is not only on MahaShivRatri, on all Amavasya nights and Paurnami nights in this culture, there were festivals that at least post-midnight you must stay awake. On MahaShivRatri, full night. So here at Isha, from evening 6 to morning 6, full-on festival. Millions of people from around the world watching on the web and on the television,
200.
which is fantastic because in 21st century, it's so many people are hungry to know something, to experience something more than where they are. It is just that it's not been offered properly. Young people are not against spirituality, they're against the way it is offered. You're not offering it the way it is suitable for their life. You're telling if you have to be spiritual, you go here, sit in the cave, do this, do that. It's not going to work. Anyway, there are not enough caves.
శివరాత్రి ఇక్కడ చేసే విధానం ఏంటంటే సామూహికంగా అందరినీ తీసుకొచ్చి ఒకే చోట చేయడం అనేది చాలా మంచి వైబ్రేషన్స్
ఫెస్టివల్ అంటే సమూహం లేక ఎలాంటి ఫెస్టివల్ చేస్తారమ్మా
కదా. అది ఇక్కడే కాకుండా మీరు వెబ్ లో కూడా చేయడంతో మేము ఇంట్లో కూర్చుని కూడా అంతే ఆనందాన్ని అంతే తృప్తిని
ఈ తూరి మీరు ఇంట్లో కూర్చుని కూడకూడదు,
ఇక్కడికి రా,
ఇక్కడ వచ్చి ఫుల్ నైట్ ఉండాలా మీరు.
ఖచ్చితంగా. దైవాజ్ఞ. శివుడు ఎవరు? ఒక గురువా, ఒక దేవుడా, ఒక పవరా? శివతత్వం అంటే ఏంటి? శివుడు అంటే ఏంటి?
శివ అనేది ఒక తత్వం కాదు. శివ అంటే ఏది ఇక్కడ లేదో అది శివ. లేనిది అది. ఈ చెట్టు ఇక్కడ ఉంది, మీరు ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారో, నేను ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాను, మనమంతా ఉన్నాం ఇక్కడ. లేనిది అది. I'll go to English, okay?
Please,
My Telugu won't go that far. My Telugu doesn't go beyond the atmosphere. See, what is that which is not is Shiva. Shiva means that which is not. What is very minuscule. Today, according to modern science, within the atom, over 99% is empty space. Only less than 1% is substance. Similar proportion in the whole cosmos also. Over 99% is empty space. All the stars and planets, everything you see is about 1%. So what is not there, that which is not, it's in that lap only what is there happens. Whatever is there right now, you are here, I am here. I will die one day, you will die after 100 years. After me. I'm blessing you, come on.
Mahaprasad.
You are a young woman, you will die much later, but you will die.
Yeah.
And everybody who sits here dies. This planet will die, this solar system will die. Maybe in terms of time, in our mind, we think 100 years is lot of time. In that sense of time, planet may be eternal, but planet is not eternal. The sun itself is burning itself out. Can he burn forever? No, he will burn out someday. Maybe it's 1 billion years away or 1 trillion years away, I don't know the numbers. But it will burn, in the very nature of things it will burn. So everything that which is there as physical will end somewhere. It's come with an expiry date, that's all I'm saying. But that which is not is always there. And that is the basis of everything that is there. Today science is also recognizes this, that everything comes from nothing and goes back to nothing. So we said everything comes from Shiva and everything goes back to Shiva. That means that which is not. But now how did it become a person? Because we are a dialectical culture, we look at life from your experience, not from your accumulations. Only today in Hyderabad, maybe they may look at what you have. What is your wealth? How much is your money? What have you got? This they are beginning to look today. Otherwise in this culture, we only looked at is what is the depth of your experience. This is why this culture's history is marked with sages and saints and yogis and seers and mystics, not of kings and rich people of the time. Our culture is marked by this, because we valued the depth and profoundness of human experience more than anything, because that is all every human being is looking for. It is just that it looks like they're all looking for something else. See, somebody wants more wealth. Why? Because they think if they have more wealth, they experience more life. Somebody wants to sit and drink alcohol. Why? Because he thinks he can experience something more. Somebody wants to take a drug. Why? Because he thinks he can experience something more. Somebody wants to go to a temple. Why? Because he or she thinks they can experience something more, isn't it? Human longing to experience something more is the fundamental thing which drives everything in the world. So we recognized that and we realized human experience is all happening within us. Whether joy or misery, pain or pleasure, agony or ecstasy, everything is happening within you, isn't it? Nothing ever happened here for you. Even what you're seeing right now is all the way it is reflected in your mind, you're not seeing it the way it is. If there is a grasshopper sitting here, it is seeing the world very differently, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So, human experience is from within. If you want to enhance human experience, you don't have to go around the world, you don't have to own the world. You can sit here and the entire cosmos can be yours. So it is from this basis we see there is an inner way for this. So over 15,000 years ago, Shiva, who was the first yogi, that's why we call him the Adiyogi, the first yogi. So Shiva, wherever, even in a calendar picture, he is sitting like a yogi, isn't it?
True. 100%.
It is just that we've forgotten. We remember somebody only because of the contributions they've made to our lives. Otherwise, why would we remember him? So many other people would have lived in this 15,000 years, we don't remember them. We remember that one man, why? Because of his contribution. What is his contribution? His contribution is more relevant now than ever before in the history of humanity, because he is the only one at that time, and since then also you can't say anybody has gone that profoundly. He is somebody who gave methods for human transformation, not scriptures, not teachings, not philosophies, not belief systems, not ideologies, methods, technologies for well-being. 112 ways he unfolded. He said, within this human system, there are 112 possibilities. Because everything that you experience right now, you see me because your eyes are working. You hear me because your ears are working. Everything is happening only the way the human system is functioning, isn't it?
True.
If these two don't work, you don't know what I'm saying, all right? Everything in your whole life, yourself, your family, your children, your this, your that, your television, everything you know only as your body tells you, isn't it? Otherwise you don't know anything. If you become unconscious, if you fall asleep, you don't know what's happening. Simply world is absent. World disappeared, isn't it, in sleep? So, because we understood this, he said there are 112 ways within this body. There are only 112 ways. But if you go beyond the body, he said, as many ways as there are atoms in the existence. Because most people are in the body, 112 ways. It is to honor that we put up 112 feet tall statue of Adiyogi. Adiyogi is relevant to these times only. All these years, people did not have the intellect to approach their subjective well-being technologically or scientifically. They can only do it by believing. They could only do it by being worshipful. So they worshipped Shiva. They just believed in him. They did not practice what he taught. You can come, many thousands and thousands of people are coming every day here as guests, taking selfies in front of Adiyogi and going. But a few people are picking up the methods and going. When they go home and use those methods, their lives will transform. Others will have a selfie to show. Maybe it's an inspiration for them, it's fine, but I'm saying transformation happens because you do something about yourself. So he gave 112 ways. Never in this 15,000 years there was a generation which could think for itself. In any village means there would be one person who thinks for everybody, especially women, I'm telling you. See, just 100, 200 years ago in most parts of the world, not so much in India actually. In India, women could think for themselves. In most parts of the world, women were not allowed to think for themselves. Even if they said the right thing, the moment they see that they are thinking for themselves, they would be beaten, burnt alive. What are all these 6.5 million women who were burnt as witches? They thought for themselves, they asked questions, that's it. Because women are not supposed to think for themselves. So in this 21st century, straight away, 50% of the population has come into the thinking block. I'm saying that's never happened before. So now people can think for themselves, we can always debate, are they thinking right, thinking wrong, it doesn't matter whether thinking right or wrong, they're thinking for themselves. See, the moment you think, the nature of thought is such, it has to progress step by step. You can't think, I'm a tree and run around, because if you're a tree, you must stand here, right? You must grow fruits. So, you cannot think absolutely illogically. If two people are talking, I may think you're illogical, but in your mind, whatever you're saying sounds perfectly logical, that's why you're saying it, isn't it? Because this is the nature of thought, it is progressive, it goes in a cycle of step by step. You can't simply go here, here, here. That means people think you've lost your mind, isn't it? So essentially, thought is a certain science or a certain technology by itself, because it goes from one process to another process to another. This is the first time a huge population is thinking for themselves. So this is the first generation that is really open to Adiyogi. Because till now, anything within themselves means they looked up. They never thought they could handle it themselves. If they want to be happy, they will call God. If they want to be peaceful, they will call God. If they want to be well, they'll call God. If they want to see well, they'll call God. isn't it?
Ante.
This is the first time you understand that you can bring well-being around you with technology. Everything around you, anything means you want to find scientific solutions. Why are you ignoring this? This also is… already this is the highest form of technology, isn't it?
Gotcha.
Human body,
Gotcha.
human mechanism is the highest form of technology on this planet. But you are operating it like it's some kind of a sack. It's not a potato sack, it is the highest form of technology. So, Adiyogi Shiva does not belong to the past. He is the phenomena of the future, yet to manifest, beginning to manifest. Now, till now we have only admired him. He doesn't see… it is said in the tradition, you praising him doesn't work, you giving him putting jewels on him, gold on him, money on him doesn't work. Even if you give him a leaf, it's okay, but you must be focused towards what he is.
సద్గురుజీ, శివుడి నుంచి మనం అసలు నేర్చుకోవాల్సిన అంశం ఏదని అంటారు? ఈనాటి యువత ఏం నేర్చుకోవాలంటారు?
Right now, your boy is 17, is it?
No, 16.
16-year-old boy is capable of this. There's a pretty girl in the neighborhood. Your boy, little emotionally gone. Now, does he have to concentrate on her?
No.
No, she'll rule him in the mind, isn't it?
Yeah,
Awake or asleep, only she's there.
very much possible.
Yes, I'm saying, I'm not saying your boy, I'm saying anybody.
Anybody, yes,
So, once you're emotionally hooked, you don't have to concentrate. Your mind is just there, isn't it?
Gotcha.
So that is what bhakti is. If you have bhakti for Shiva, your mind you don't have to concentrate, only Shiva rules your mind. Only that you will live in him all the time. So that is the beauty about bhakti. Bhakti is not an end by itself. Bhakti is a fantastic means, because modern education and modern civilizations have not understood the power of emotion. They think intellect is superior to emotion. No, because you don't know how to use your emotion. Your emotions are of anger, hatred, jealousy, resentment, depression, these are all your emotions. You don't know the emotion of joy, love, ecstasy, these are also emotions. And even today, doesn't matter how intellectual you think you are, even today emotion is ruling the world, isn't it?
ఖచ్చితంగా.
It is just that you don't have the right emotions, that's the problem. Your anger and hatred is ruling instead of love and joy ruling the world.
అలాగే శివుడి గురించి కూడా చెప్తే, శివుళ్ళు ఏమో ఒకవైపు ఏమో భోలా శంకరుడు అంటారు, ఇంకోవైపు ఆగ్రహం వచ్చి తాండవం ఆడుతున్న శివుడు అంటారు, మరోవైపు పాపం శివుడు ఆయనకి ఏం తెలియదు, విభూతి తప్ప ఏం అక్కర్లేదు ఆయనకి అంటారు. ఇలాంటి శివుణ్ణి ఎలా తీసుకోవాలంటారు? ఈ ఇమోషన్స్లో ఏంటి ఆ తేడాలు ఏంటంటారు? మనం ఎలా తీసుకోవాలంటారు?
See, the important thing about this is, we need to make a distinction between what is a fact and what is a truth. See, right now the fact is, you're a woman, I'm a man, this is a fact. But the truth is, you came here because a man and woman came together. Does your father exist within you?
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
Not 100, 50%.
Okay.
50%. Mother exists within me? Definitely. So, the fact is you're just this or that. But the truth is you're both. So, we are not a culture dedicated to facts of life. This is a very Western invention, facts, facts, facts. We are always interested in seeing the truth about life. Because of that, we did not give one characteristic. Every characteristic that you can imagine in the universe, you want to give it to him. 1,000, 1,000,000 characteristics. You're a drunkard, he's a drunkard with you, good company.
Yeah.
You're an ascetic, you sit like this, he sits like this, good company. You're a family person, he's a family person, good company, wife, children, pets, everything he's got. So, doesn't matter who you are a bloody fool, he's also a bloody fool. Yes, you're a scientist, he's also a scientist, you're a mathematician, he's a mathematician, you're a dancer, he's a dancer, you're a musician, he's a musician. So it doesn't matter who you are, he's good company for you. That is the message.
Ah, best message. శివుణ్ణి మనం ఎలా తీసుకుంటామంటే రోజువారి జీవితంలో ఎవరైనా కోపం వచ్చిందనుకోండి, ఏమంటారంటే మా మేనేజర్ ఇవాళ తాండవం ఆడేశాడు ఆఫీస్లో అంటారు. అలాగే లేడీస్ ఏమన్నా తిడితే శివంగి అది, దాంతో అస్సలు మాట్లాడద్దు అని అంటూ ఉంటాం. కోపం వస్తే శివంగిలా చేసింది అంటూ ఉంటాం. ఆ శివుణ్ణి మన ఇంట్లో ఒక ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్గా మన రోజువారీ జీవితంలో ఉండే శివుడిలాగా చేసేసుకున్నాం ఆయన్ని. ఎంత బాగా పదాల్లో వాడుతున్నాము, ఎంత చక్కగా మనం రోజువారీ జీవితంలో వాడుకున్నాం. మన జీవితంలో ప్రతి అణువులో ఆయన ఉన్నారంటారు.
See, that is the whole thing about this culture. We don't believe that you do one thing as spiritual and do other things as some other way. In your life, if you look at you got married, if you look at your process of marriage, it is talking about two human beings coming together and growing towards their mukti. You have children, you are seeing that as a fulfillment which should take you towards your mukti. Whatever you do, it is about mukti. If you look at the previous generation and see, sitting, standing, they will talk karma, mukti, prarabdha, this one, that one, not in some spiritual talk, daily talk. Whatever local gossip also, they will use only spiritual jargon because everything was oriented towards one goal. You can do your business, but it's towards your liberation. Because the important thing is you do whatever is needed for you, but do not get entangled. This is what all these people that we worship represent. They were involved with everything, they fought battles, they did this, they did that, all kinds of things. Well, we use Rama as an example, Krishna is the same, full of problems, Shiva's life also, lots of hardships. Whatever, never got entangled. So that freedom, that mukti is the only thing we bow down to. So that is embedded into every aspect of life. We don't separate, this is work, this is life. If work is not life, why the hell are you doing it?
Sure.
Isn't it? It is all one, it's our life. Our life should be leading towards liberation, not towards entanglement. So we wove everything one into the other. For someone who looks at it superficially, it looks illogical, but it's deep, profound intelligence to weave everything. Sitting, standing, they said Shiva, all right? Now they will see some other filthy words, people say sitting, standing, in English language, they will go on using filthy words, all right? So, it is very… see, language is a sudden sound. Sound is the basis of physical existence. Depending on what type of sounds you use in your day-to-day life, accordingly your consciousness, your mental structures will form, your emotions will germinate from that. So what kind of sound are you using? So you have a child, instead of calling him Tinku, you call him Shiva. So sitting, standing, you'll say Shiva, 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 you're only calling your son, it doesn't matter, but you're uttering the word. Because it's the power of the sound which transforms you. And you have some sweetness of emotion to your son, that's good enough. You don't have to do any worship, they said. You just give yourself to the act that you're doing absolutely. There's so many stories of our sages and saints who are not in any organized religion of any kind. They did all kinds of things which are not socially acceptable whole lot of times. You heard of, that potter who smashed his own child into the… Bhakta Kumbhara who smashed his own child into the clay, he was kneading the clay and the child came accidentally, but he did not realize, he's in such a sense of ecstasy, he just kneaded the child into the clay. There have been many things like this, but I'm saying the important thing is involvement. Can you be involved with something if you have no emotion for it?
Difficult.
Then what is this nonsense everybody is talking? Emotion is not needed, you must be intellectual. That's why you're losing your mind. Without involvement, see, right now I'm sitting with you. If I'm not involved with you, this is going to be torture, sitting with you. When I sit here looking at you, You are the most important person right now for me. Because of that, it doesn't matter, you work 24 hours of the day, it doesn't matter. There's no stress, there is no toll on your life. Now I don't care about you, I hate to sit with you, but I will sit with you and talk for 1 hour. This 1 hour will take 10 years of my life.
Oh.
This is the whole problem. Without engagement, without involvement, without putting themselves into it, they are doing things because it'll get them something else. Everything is sold, everything is a transaction. Mind has become a marketplace. So if I do something, what will I get? There's nothing to get, you'll die one day, what else will you get?
మనస వాచ కర్మణ ఒక పని చేయాలంట. మనసుతో, వాచంతో, కర్మతో.
See, I'm saying you don't have to think of it like a principle. Right now, I'm again going back to your boy, I don't know what the boy is doing,
okay,
but
sir.
simply as example. Your boy is little with a neighborhood girl, she's too pretty in his mind. She may not be pretty factually, we don't know what she is. In his mind, she's super pretty. And he is fully emotionally on. Manasa, karma, vachaka, all this you have to tell him.
No.
Everything is involved, all right? So this is the power of love and devotion. Love is selective. Devotion has no… Love is emotion where still there are breaks, if you want you can break. Devotion is emotion without breaks. Simply on.
Correct. అంతే. ఇప్పుడు వచ్చే యువత అండి, మీరు అన్నారు పిల్లలు అన్నారు కాబట్టి, దేంట్లో అయినా శ్రద్ధ భక్తి భావంతో వాళ్ళు చేసే పనులలో సహం టైం వాళ్ళు వృధా అనవసరంగా చేసేస్తుంటారు. వాళ్ళు భక్తి మార్గంలో కొంచెం పెట్టాలన్నా కష్టమే, అటు చదువు అన్నా కష్టమే, ఏదన్నా కష్టమే వాళ్ళకి. వాళ్ళ శ్రద్ధ తక్కువైపోయింది, అటెన్షన్ స్పాన్ తక్కువైపోయింది వాళ్ళకి. ఇది ఇలాంటివన్నీ సరైన దారిలో తీసుకురావాలంటే
That's what I told you, no? Suppose there's a young girl in the neighborhood, Shraddha unda chala?
ఉంది,
Inkenti?
ప్రేమ ఉంది, శ్రద్ధ ఉంది,
Shraddha anta undi kada? All the spiritual qualities you're talking is there. It is just that it is finding expression in a limited way. You have to make it.
బ్రాడ్.
Yes, that's all. If he learns to look at everybody with the same intensity that he's looking at the neighborhood girl, world will be fantastic.
ఖచ్చితంగా. మరి అదే శ్రద్ధలో ఇప్పుడు బెంగళూరులో కూడా మంచి సెంటర్ ఓపెన్ చేశారు. అది చాలా మంచి సక్సెస్ఫుల్గా ఎంతో వైభవంగా జరిగిన ఇది. అందరూ చాలా అంతే ఉత్సాహంగా దాన్ని పాల్గొన్నారు అందులో. మరి అది కూడా ఇదే దృక్పథంలో చేసిందేనా, అందరూ ఎక్కువ మంది రావాలని? అలాంటివి పెడితే కానీ ప్రజల్లో ఒక చైతన్యం రాదంటారు.
See, this whole effort is to create a conscious planet. Why conscious planet? See, there's only one problem in the world, human being. If we are not there, what is the problem in this world? Everything is perfect, isn't it?
True.
But why? We are the peak of evolution. We are the highest level of intelligence. We are the highest level of competence. We are the most empowered creatures on this planet. But why have we become such a problem? Because for this level of intelligence and competence, you are supposed to function consciously. Right now you're still functioning unconsciously, not only unconsciously, compulsively. This level of intelligence, if it functions compulsively, it's disaster. If you are an earthworm, compulsively you do something, it's okay. For his capability, everything will work out well. For this level of capability, if you work compulsively, you will destroy everything. Everything that's happening in the world is just this. It's human intelligence which is causing misery, isn't it?
అవును.
If people had half the brain that they have, they would all be peaceful. So when did intelligence become a problem? That reminds me, you mustn't… probably you know her personally, I don't know. A lady in Hyderabad about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, she was some kind of a television anchor and she committed suicide. She jumped off third floor of her building and she left a note, "My brain is my enemy. Nobody is responsible for my death, my brain is my enemy." This brain, to manufacture this brain, it took millions of years of research and development. This research and development, unfortunately, we're dismissing it off with one word, evolution. Evolution is not a simple task. It is millions of years of research and development to get you to this place and this level of brain. And now this brain is your enemy, look at this. So that's why I said a simple thing. You have a technology and you don't even bother to read the user's manual. So it's a mess. So this is why conscious planet is needed. So to create a conscious planet, I am not a real estate person. My real estate is in the minds and hearts of people. But we are seeing a gross lack of any kind of infrastructure for people to go and make use of. Here every day over 100,000 people are coming on a daily basis now. In Bangalore city, nothing has happened, just one Naga shrine and one Adiyogi. Every day 35 to 40,000 people are coming, there's no infrastructure, only temporary bathrooms also, nothing else. Already 35 to 40,000 people are coming in Bangalore city. That much urge is there, but where to go? Our temples, ashrams used to be that place to go. But unfortunately, we've not kept them that way. Not all of them, some of them are still wonderful, but there is not enough for the population. Anyway, the temples that you built, most of the temples are ancient temples in the country. You built these temples when your population was hardly 200 million or even less. Today you have 1.4 billion. Have you multiplied those temples? No. So today will temples solve everybody's requirement? No. Your children may not want to go to the temple and sit there and do puja after puja. They may not want, they want a more conducive place. They want to be in a place where they can understand what's happening, because you send them to school, the education is logical. Once their mind starts thinking logically, unless everything is logically presented to them, they're not willing to take that, they will reject the whole thing. Even though there may be value inside that, the presentation is of another time. Presentation is 1,000 years ago. See, you are still wearing traditional clothes, but still you wear it in today's style, isn't it? If I bring you clothes which they were wearing 1,000 years ago and say, wear it like this only, you don't like it. Similarly, children don't like what was 1,000 years ago, however beautiful it was for those times. For today, you need to change the presentation. You don't have to change the truth about it, you have to change the presentation. So that's what MahaShivRatri is, that is what these centers are coming up. In United States, we are building a whole spiritual city.
Wow.
22,600 acres. Big city, spiritual city, because it's now needed. Without infrastructure, we won't be able to deliver this. Lot of infrastructure is now digital infrastructure, but physical infrastructure is still needed for people. They cannot be inspired sitting at home, because not everybody has such atmosphere at home. They need a different atmosphere. So in this effort, we are creating some centers. But essentially, my real estate is in the minds and hearts of people.
సో నైస్, సో నైస్. ఈ శివరాత్రి అప్పుడు కూడా చాలా మంది ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి పర్ఫామ్ చేయబోతున్నారు. ఆర్ట్స్ అండ్ కల్చర్కి మీరు ఎప్పుడు ప్రధాన అడుగు వేశారు, ప్రధాన పాత్ర వేశారు. ఎంతో మందిని మాకు మీ ఈషా యోగా సెంటర్ ద్వారా ఆన్ ద డే ఆఫ్ శివరాత్రి చూపించారు. మేము అదే తన్మయత్వంలో ఉంటూ ఈ శివరాత్రి కూడా అలాగే జరుపుకోవాలి.
మీరు టెలివిజన్లో చూడకూడదండి, ఇక్కడ రావాలి.
రావాలి, తప్పకుండా వస్తాం.
మీ పిల్లల్ని తీసుకొని రండి.
తప్పకుండా వస్తాం. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ సద్గురు. ధన్యవాదాలు.